We've given people a little bit of time to trickle in here. Hi, everyone. My name is Allison Groves. I have the privilege of taking care of our community here at Zapier. And today I'm joined by a couple of folks from Podio, all the way from Copenhagen. I've got Sarah with me here on the line, who's going to chat with me about Podio. And one of her teammates, Charlie, is taking care of folks in the chat room. How are you doing today, Sarah?
Hey, we're good. Zapier, thanks for having us join. We're really happy to be here. And Charlie is here as well to answer any questions in
Hi,
the chat.
Charlie. So today we're going to cover a few automation tips and tricks to kind of help people get the most out of Podio. I know there's so many cool things you can do with Podio. There's anything from project management to managing contacts to, oh man, the list kind of goes on and on and on. So today we want to kind of cover a couple of really popular uses of Podio with Zapier and how to kind of automate that data out to other places. So we're going to talk about using forms, external forms with Podio, how to use different email marketing services with Podio, and we're also going to cover how to maybe get some of that information out via email and things like that to use for notifications, and so you can use all your Podio data and be notified of that elsewhere. So before we hop in here, I just want to say that if you scroll down this page that you're watching this on just a little bit, there's a chat room there, and Charlie from Podio is going to be answering any questions that you have, and one of my teammates is also in there. So any questions that you have about Podio or Zapier as we're kind of walking along here, just put them in the chat room, and either Charlie or my teammate Wade will be more than happy to answer those for you. And then at the end, if we've got some time, we'll tackle a couple of those questions live. So let me go ahead and start sharing my screen here, and we'll hop right in. Sarah, do you want to talk a little bit about, very first thing we want to chat about is doing, when you create a new item in Podio, using that information to add a subscriber to any email list you have. Are there any popular apps inside of Podio that this would fit really well with?
Yeah, so basically in Podio, as you just mentioned, you can use it to structure your data, your work, your contacts, your clients, your projects, your recruiting processes, your events, anything. What we know is that a lot of our users use Podio to manage their clients and contacts inside Podio. They share progress with team members. They even invite clients on board. But usually you would have more than just one system. So you might use Podio for your collaboration, your file sharing, and your CRM. But you might also have an email marketing tool or something like Mailchimp that will help you actually nurture these contacts and clients with email campaigns, newsletters, etc. So what's really, really cool is that you can have a contact app in Podio, as you can see in this workspace. In this case, it's called Contacts and Leads. So this is both your existing customers, but it's also the potential customers that you want to reach. So if you have a contact app, you can basically push any contact you have in your database to a subscriber mail list in Mailchimp or in any other external email marketing system that Zapier is also supporting. And then you can have a live sync of your data both in Podio, in your contact database, and in the external system like Mailchimp. So this is actually really, really cool if you want to make sure that you also nurture your leads and clients outside Podio.
Yeah, there's a lot of different email applications you can use with Zapier, and I'll walk through those in just a second. But let's take a moment here just to see how we set this up. This is actually a really, really simple process. Shouldn't take you more than a minute or two. And then, like Sarah said, once you're done, anytime you create a new contact or lead in your Podio workspace, we'll automatically send that email address, name, etc. over to the email marketing platform of your choice. So you don't have to worry about doing it. It just works automatically in the background. So to set this up, the very first thing we want to do is, of course, we're working with Podio. So we've selected Podio there as our app. And we've selected new item as the trigger. So anytime you add a new record basically to that particular workspace, that's what's going to trigger that information over to your email marketing platform. So here we've selected Mailchimp, and add a subscriber. So once I add that contact to my Podio workspace, it's going to automatically add that subscriber to Mailchimp. Steps 2 and 3 are actually connecting your accounts. So I've already got my accounts connected. If you don't have yours connected, it's a very, very quick process. You can just connect it right here. You would want to connect your Podio account to Zapier, and you'd also want to connect your Mailchimp account to Zapier. And then in step 4, we're going to say, okay, here's the space that I want to pull that information from to send over to Mailchimp. So step 4 is going to ask me for my Podio organization, the workspace that I'm working with, which this particular one is the one I made called Partnerships, which is what we were just looking at over in Podio. And then the application. So like Sarah said, we've got our contacts and leads application. I imagine there's a couple of others you could use in this situation. You just want to make sure that you select that here from the drop-down, and it's got to be that specific application. And you can even take this a step further if you wanted to set up custom filters. So maybe there's only certain information you want to pull from Podio to send over to Mailchimp. You can set up those custom filters here, and then only that specific information will be sent over to Mailchimp. So that you have a lot of flexibility here as far as what data you move from Podio over to your email marketing platform. And then in step 5, we're going to match up that information from Podio to Mailchimp. So I've got to select the list in Mailchimp that I want to send this information to, and this is pretty similar for any email marketing platform you're working with. You have a list or a specific space where you want to put this subscriber. Then I just click on Insert Fields here, and that's going to give me the information from Podio, and I can just select email there like I've already done. So basically you're wanting to match up that information again from Podio to Mailchimp. You got a couple of other options here you can work with. You can even put in first name and last name. We've got this funny field here in our Mailchimp form that's required. It's our little test form for fun. But you want to just make sure that you do any of these fields that you feel like you need in Mailchimp. First name and last name is pretty popular, just so you know when you send emails you have that person's name. And then once that's done, all you need to do is click test, and you can see exactly what information we're going to pull from Podio and send over to Mailchimp. So you can see that I've got Wade here, his email address, his first and last name. So that's exactly what information is going to come out of my Podio Contacts app and go directly into Mailchimp. So very, very simple, and like I said, once this is done and set up one time, you don't have to worry about it again, and anytime you create a new person in your contacts or leads app in Podio or any other type of app you have, we're going to send that information right over to Mailchimp. And like I said, we've got many, many different email apps you can use with Zapier. So Mailchimp is a popular one, but you can use Infusionsoft, Aweber, Mandrill if you're wanting to send transactional emails, Constant Contact, Emma, the Mad Mimi, BombBomb. The list kind of goes on and on and on here. So we were just using Mailchimp as an example, but any of these apps you can go through that same process and get exactly what you want from Podio right into your email marketing platform. I think the next thing we want to talk about is actually getting notifications or other types of emails when you do any particular work in Podio. Sarah, have you guys seen really specific use cases of this or where that might be helpful for Podio users?
Yeah, definitely. So in Podio, what you can do is that you can currently email to Podio, or you can get an email notification if you're already on Podio and following the app or the item. But we know that a lot of our users also like to automatically send email notifications out when something happens in Podio to somewhere else. Maybe they want to let people know that, yes, you have actually subscribed to this event, or you're my client, so I want to make sure you are notified about changes we did in Podio. It could also be that I want to send an update to my boss who's only using email and still not on Podio. So we heard from many people that they want to make sure they can also get information from Podio and out via Gmail or other email clients. So yes, definitely something that's a big use case in Podio. Send email out.
Yeah, and in this particular use case, you're not even really limited to email. You could send a push notification via Pushbullet or some other sort of app like that. You could even send a text message. We have an SMS app, or you could use Twilio. So there's a lot of different ways that you can get notifications of actions that happen in Podio. But for this specific example, we'll just stick with it really easy and go with Gmail. And I won't walk you through the setup too much here, because all the setup is virtually the same no matter what you're doing in Zapier. So here, just like in our Mailchimp example, we're going to say when a particular new item is added to Podio, or to an app or to a record, we want this particular action to happen. So here I'm saying when I add that new item to Podio, I want to send an email via Gmail. But again, you could do other email services, you could do text message, whatever your preferred notification system might be. And then just like the Mailchimp Zap, we've got connections. So step 2 and 3, we're going to connect those accounts again. If you haven't connected the accounts, you'll be prompted to do so. Step 4, like I said, exactly the same. We're picking which organization and workspace and application we want to work with in Podio. And in this particular example, I've selected a projects app. So I set up a projects app in Podio where I'm managing some projects with my teammates, and this is I want to get notified when new projects are created. So with all that done in step 4, I just need to come down to step 5. Again, just like the Mailchimp example, I'm going to say I want to match up certain Podio information that's going to go out in this email or this notification. So this one is a little bit different because we have a couple of more fields here to select. I want to, we've obviously got to know who to send the email to. And you can copy people, or you can blind copy. You've got a lot of different options here as far as formatting the email goes. And then, I really need to obviously select a subject and a body of the email. So what I've done is I've taken the data from this particular app, and I've said, okay, I want to get notified when these new projects get added. So I basically said I want to know what was created and who created it and what the title of that project is. And then from there, I can say, I can add a little bit more information. So when you click on these insert fields here, you'll get all these options of information coming from Podio, and you can customize this email in any way you might want to. So I've said, created by is the person who actually created the project. So that would say something like, Mike added this particular project to Podio, and it's got a certain priority, and here's the name of the project and the description of the project. And once you can customize this in any way you want. This is just a very simple way to do that. And then in step 6, I can easily see what that email would say. And so, the body of the email says, Mike Knoop, who's a teammate of mine, has added email marketing apps to the Podio project. And I get the body of this email, and it's coming to me. So anytime anyone adds a particular project, I'm going to get notified of it. I'm going to know who set it up, what the title of that project is, and details of that project. So again, very, very simple. You see it just takes a couple of minutes to set that up. And whether or not you use Gmail or, like I said, any other type of notification, we've got lots of different options there. And you can customize that notification for any app that you have on Podio, so you'll be notified via email or whatever you'd like anytime any new item is added to your Podio workspace. And one other thing that I want to bring up here really quickly is Zapier doesn't quite support contact fields in Podio yet. So if you're setting up a Zap and you come across something in step 5 where it says that this specific field is required, but we don't have access to it quite yet, like Zapier doesn't support it quite yet, you can come into Podio and actually remove that as a required field. You can see right here, all you need to do is just untick that box. And once that's done, you can actually come back to the Zap and you can continue to set it up. So you can kind of skip over those requirements that Zapier just doesn't quite support yet. Hopefully we will in the future, but this will help you move all the way through the Zap without any roadblocks. If you run into that, you just need to come in and deselect that as a required field inside of Podio. The other big thing that I wanted to talk about today, and I know that Sarah has seen a lot of this as well, is using form applications to actually create information inside of Podio. Sarah, how do you see your users using these form applications for Podio?
Yeah, definitely. So Podio apps are quite flexible. So you can basically create any process or any sign up form app you like. And if you want to get data from the outside to your Podio app for your team to work and collaborate on it, it's a great way to use forms to move this data into Podio. So one example could be that we already have a Podio web form feature which allows you to get data inside Podio. But we also know that if you're looking for a more advanced survey form option, then you'll like to try other options than Podio only. So in this case, the use case would be an event management case. So basically where you have an event and you want to get the participants to sign up and you want to be able to see the list of participants inside the Podio app for the entire team to know about it. So this is the case where you want to put the form or any kind of survey tool and get the data from the external application directly into your Podio app. I think in the workspace you created, we added a participants app. So basically, in this case, you're gathering participants for the next event.
Yeah, that's correct. So when I was setting this up, I was looking which Podio app would I like to use to collect participants for an event, and obviously there is a participants app for that. So again, setup is very, very similar here, and we're going to use Wufoo as an example, but we have a ton of different form applications that you can use to create these items really in any app or workspace that you might want to. So let me skip down here because we've really covered most of the top part here. Step 4 of this particular Zap, since Podio is the action in this case, what's going to happen here is when I selected a particular form in my Wufoo account, which you do here, or any other form application that you use, that's the form that we're going to look for new entries on. So when somebody fills out this specific form, that is the data that's going to go over to Podio. So you can see in step 5 here, I've selected, again, the organization that I'm working with, the workspace that I'm working with, and then my desired app. So here, like Sarah said, I've selected a participants app, and that's where I want my form information to go to. People are going to participate in a certain event. I've got my name from Wufoo, and just like the other Zaps we got here, you can click on Insert Fields, and it's going to take you right out to match up that data. So we've got my name, my email address, etc. So I've got matching that up with the name field, the email address. Also can match this up with events that I have set up in Podio. So now I know that this person is going to be a confirmed participant at this particular event that I have set up in my events app within my Podio workspace. The rest of this stuff is optional. You can set it up if you like. You don't have to. And then once again, just like all the other Zaps, you can test them, see what data is going to go right over to Podio. So we see that Lindsay is confirmed at this particular event, which is just an ID here, but you saw that we picked that earlier as Zapier office hours. I have her email address. Then when I go over to Podio, that's going to be there automatically. So anytime anyone fills out a form, I'm going to have their information automatically sent into my Podio workspace in the Participants app. So really, really simple and easy to do. And again, just a couple of minutes here saves you so much time of manual entry. And I know that we were talking about Wufoo specifically here, but Zapier again supports a ton of different form applications, Typeform, Gravity Forms, Jotform. You can use SurveyMonkey, all kinds of other apps you can use here. And I know we're running a little bit low on time, and I want to get to a couple questions, but there's a couple of other Zaps that I know we see a lot of that I would love to for Sarah to touch on. One big one we actually see is people moving data inside Podio. So when they create something inside Podio, it actually moves it to another, or creates that same data in another workspace. Can you talk a little bit about that, Sarah?
Yes, so something people love when using Podio is to basically save time and automate things. And a way of doing it is using Zapier to basically trigger specific actions in Podio. So if I do this in Podio, I will do something else in my other app or in the same app in Podio. We do have a simple workflow tool in Podio for this as well, but we also know that when there is limitations on our side, Zapier can basically help triggering these events in even bigger scale, because you can move stuff around, move an item to another app, or change a field in the app depending on something you do. So it's like if I do this, then something else will trigger in Podio.
Right, and some other really popular Zapier use cases we see is whenever you create a specific item in Podio, that can create a contact for you elsewhere. So if you're using Google Contacts or some other sort of CRM, and you might want to also get contact information from Podio to that other CRM, you can do that. And I know another popular one that you and I talked about earlier this week, Sarah, is actually creating items in Podio that then create web merged PDFs. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. So since Podio is a place where you can basically store and manage a lot of data, everything from client proposals, designs, resources, processes, what our customers is looking for is a way to create a PDF from this information. So example could be that you have some data in Podio that you want to share externally, or you want to save it and send it to someone. So basically, yeah, it's a really cool way to actually be able to maybe create a PDF from some invoice information, or yeah, even a design brief or a project proposal.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Okay, we've got a couple of minutes here left that we can maybe tackle some questions. Charlie, are there any specific questions you think we should tackle here?
I don't know.
No?
It seems like there is kind of they're already answered in the chat, right?
Okay, no, that's perfect. Just wanted to see if there was any specific walkthrough or question we could tackle, but if Charlie's taking care of that, then that's totally fine. No worries at all. Also, so thanks everyone for joining us today. I'm glad that you did so, and that we've got all those questions answered for you. I know that Podio is an extraordinarily powerful program and application. There's so much you can do with it, and we hope that using that alongside with Zapier, that you're able to even add to that, moving data around, using Podio even more because you're getting notifications and whatnot. We know that there's so much you can do there, and we've barely scratched the surface. One other thing I guess I should touch on here is how you can find us. So if you have any questions at all, anything from how does this work to maybe some other ideas, some workflows, whatever, we're more than happy to help out with that. So this is my information. Contact@zapier.com is definitely the best way to get in touch with us, because that goes to my whole team. But anything you need, we're more than happy to help. I know that Sarah takes care of folks over at Podio, and if you get in touch with us or with them, we kind of work side by side to help folks out and make sure that everything gets taken care of. So we'll be happy to answer any question you're having, from workflow to any issues you run into. I know that we're both more than happy to help out with anything like that. Sarah, you have anything else you want to add before we say bye here?
Yeah, maybe just a quick update. I can see a few people is asking a bit of some roadmap kind of issues for both Podio and Zapier. So maybe just to comment on the Podio part, we're talking a bit about duplicating fields. So how do we ensure that we don't have duplicate data in Podio that we then send to the external system? Another part is if you have too many fields and related items with the same name, how can you then find the unique field when you're looking to link the two? So to answer those questions, it's something we're looking into at the moment. So basically how to avoid duplicates in Podio without using Excel, without using API, but basically having our backend do the trick. I don't know when it's ready, but it's something that we know is a problem. The other part about filtering related items is also something that I know our CTO is investigating at the moment. So basically making sure that you can always find the unique data you are looking for if you have tons of data with similar naming and such. So yes, definitely we know it could be improved, even though it's already awesome. So yes.
Yeah, sometimes when you run into a lot of names in a piece of software and a lot of similar names, it proves to be quite a challenge to be able to find what you're looking for. But it's a fun challenge to solve. Okay, well, if there's no other questions, then we'll sign off from here. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us this morning. It's morning for me. It's evening for Sarah. She's in Copenhagen. I'm in Los Angeles, so we're quite a world away. But I'm so glad you joined us today. And anything you need, like I said, contact@zapier.com. We can reach out to Sarah as well if we need to pull Podio in. We're always happy to help with anything that you guys might need. So thanks again for joining us, and we will chat soon. Bye, Sarah.
Bye-bye.